Neapolitan. This is the original pizza, made in Naples, Italy, and it remains the gold standard for many pizza purists. The dough is simple, just flour, water, salt, and yeast, and it ferments slowly for anywhere from 12 to 72 hours. The crust is thin but soft, with leopard-spotted charring from a very hot oven, traditionally wood-fired and reaching temperatures above 800 degrees Fahrenheit. The toppings are minimal, usually just tomato sauce, fresh mozzarella, basil, and olive oil. What makes Neapolitan special is the balance between these few ingredients and the technique. The dough must be stretched by hand, not rolled, and the whole pizza cooks in under a minute. New York. This style developed in the early 1900s when Italian immigrants adapted Neapolitan pizza to American tastes and equipment. New York pizza uses a thinner, crispier crust than its Italian ancestor, with a softer interior that still has some chew. The dough is typically fermented for less time, and the oven is not quite as hot, creating a different texture altogether. It's generally larger and cut into 8 triangular slices, meant to be folded and eaten by hand. The sauce and toppings are heavier than Neapolitan. Pepperoni is traditional, and the cheese is standard mozzarella rather than fresh. Chicago deep dish. This is an entirely different animal from the previous two. It's made in a heavily oiled, deep round pan that makes the pizza look almost like a casserole. The dough is thick and buttery, and the cheese goes on the bottom, underneath the sauce, which keeps it from overcooking. What distinguishes Chicago deep dish is its chewier, almost bread-like texture, and the way the cheese gets slightly crispy at the edges where it meets the pan. The pizza is stuffed with toppings and can take 30 minutes to cook. Detroit. This rectangular pizza comes from Detroit's working-class neighborhoods and is also called Sicilian or grandpa pizza in some places. It's baked in a rectangular pan and emerges with a crispy, airy interior and deeply caramelized cheese that extends all the way to the edges, creating what locals call the frico. The crust is thick but lighter than Chicago deep dish, with a more even crumb structure. Toppings are distributed evenly across the surface, and the slices are cut into rectangular pieces. Roman al taglio. Roman pizza is sold by weight, not by slice, which is how it got its name. Al taglio means by the cut. The dough is very hydrated, making it lighter and airier than most other pizzas, almost bread-like. It's baked on long rectangular sheets and pulled from the oven to be cut into whatever size piece the customer wants. The toppings vary widely, from vegetables to cured meats to seafood. The crust is crispy on the outside and tender within, and Romans eat these pieces folded in half or rolled up. Sicilian. This is a thick, spongy rectangular pizza that shares some similarities with Detroit style, but has its own distinct identity. The dough is heavily hydrated and often contains lard, which gives it a particular tenderness. It's traditionally topped with a simple tomato sauce and white cheese, though modern versions vary. The key characteristic is the combination of a thick, airy interior and a crispy bottom. Sicilian pizza has been made this way for centuries and represents a different approach to pizza entirely from the thin Neapolitan style. Pan pizza. This is a broader category that encompasses several regional variations where pizza is made in a shallow, oiled pan. The oil creates a fried edge on the bottom crust that's crispy and flavorful. Pan pizza dough is typically less hydrated than Roman pizza, creating a denser crumb. The pan traps heat and distributes it evenly, allowing for a longer bake time. Turkey and the Middle East have their own versions of pan pizza with different seasonings and toppings, showing how the style has traveled and adapted. Grandma pizza. Despite its name, this isn't a traditional Italian style. It came from Italian-American neighborhoods in New York. It's a rectangular pizza baked in a standard sheet pan, likely so called because home cooks made it this way as opposed to the fancier round pizzas from pizzerias. The crust is thin and crispy, the cheese and sauce are applied generously, and it's finished with a drizzle of olive oil. It's simple, practical, and reflects the way pizza was actually cooked in American Italian homes. Focaccia. Focaccia is sometimes considered pizza's cousin rather than a true pizza style, but the line between them is blurry. It's a thick, oily flatbread that's dimpled before baking, traditionally from the Liguria region of Italy. While it can be topped with herbs and salt, or even tomatoes and cheese, focaccia is fundamentally a bread first and a canvas for toppings second. The texture is quite different from pizza, softer, fluffier, and less about the toppings being central to the experience.